Hello, welcome to the Search Tone channel. Alright, so I'm going to finally do a video with actually playing the amplifier. So we are going to go through the setup that I've got first, and then we'll go from there. So here we go. There's the amplifier. Okay. And I want to show you the settings on the back side. I don't know, the light isn't very good here, but it's on the center of the humbucker, and you'll see why that is. And it's high power. Okay, now I'm running that out into my Fryette power station, just using that because it has the reactive load, and that is going into my interface. Okay, that's just an IK multimedia interface. Alright, now I want to show you this, and you'll understand why I'm doing that. Is because this red plate amplifier is just as loud as that 100 watt JP2C amplifier is, and the red plate is only a 40 watt amp. I don't know why it's so loud, but we'll find out. Okay, so here's the front side of the multimedia, and I am just, okay, that's Reaper on computer, and I will show you the IRs that I'm going to play through right now. Okay, so those are just regular Zilla cab IRs, nothing, you know, just whatever Get Good Drums has. Alright, let me get the camera in here. I'm trying a new setup. The last time I wasn't happy with the way the picture was. It was a really small picture in the other videos. My fault. I'm just doing it on a camera. I'm just a regular guy with a regular job. And I wanted to do this because this is a good product. Alright, so let's get into why did I pick red plate. To tell you the truth, I really don't know. I was looking around for something a little different. I had the JP2C, and it's a wonderful amp. That thing is, you can play anything you want on that. There's stuff on the channel already, so you can check that out on that. So anyway, the red plate, I had heard the name mainly from a guitarist named Alan Hines, musician. Also a teacher at MI, used to be GIT way back when. And I was on his Patreon page. So I've had interviews or talked to Alan through his Patreon stuff, and was with him a few months. Great guy, very helpful. Alright, so why the red plate? Well, I was, like I said, looking for something a little different. There's some characteristics that the JP2C doesn't have, like more of a the JP is what I call a more precise amp. That thing is like, the tones are like spot on. The clean channel is super clean. You can crank that thing way up and it does not distort whatsoever in the clean channel unless you put a pedal in front of it. But anyway, I was looking around at something, just they have something a little different. They have a little bit tonal options, and I decided, well, I'd kind of like to get, everybody's into the Dumble thing, and I really don't. Dumble's cool for what it is. I just was looking mainly for something that was going to be a little bit different than what I had. And what intrigued me was people talking about how you can turn the tone stack off on some of these amps like a Dumble, you know. And I thought, I kind of wonder what that's like. So I started checking around. I checked out, what is that? Amplified Nation, I think they're called. And some of the other ones that are Dumble-esque, and some of the other boutique builders that are around. And then I started thinking, okay, how much do I really want to spend for this amplifier? You know, I'm just an amateur hobbyist guitarist. I don't want to invest too much money. I don't want to spend 5 to 8, 10,000 on an amplifier. I don't need that kind of stuff. So that kind of eliminated things down. And like I said, I heard about Red Plate. I started checking them out on the YouTube channels, and a lot of their stuff is really old. Their information is like 10, 15 years old. So, you know, this, that, and the other thing, and I did some more checking around, and anybody that has anything to do with Red Plate or has one comments on how robust they are built. They're a good product. You know, they're built by good people and all this and that. So when it come down to it, this is the least expensive of the whole bunch, and it offered what I wanted to have offered. You can bypass the tone stack. You can get good tube distortion sound out of it. The thing with the JP2C, that's all preamp. You can't bypass that, so it's all preamp into the power tube. So I wanted to try an amplifier that you can distort the power tubes and see how that works. So that's the direction I wanted to go. Okay, enough yakking by me. Alright, so one more thing real quick. Here's the guitar I'm going to be playing through. It's my R9 that I just bought. This year it was made almost Christmas time. Let's just say Christmas last year, 2023 is when it was built or whatever, when I checked with Gibson after I bought it. Alright, so let's start playing a little bit and turn the presents back on. Okay, so the last video I did not realize there's certain things with this amp. I'm going to slide this up so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we've got the gain switch here. If you do not have this off, it is always on, and that's what happened with the last video, why I had to do dirty little humbuckers, is because I didn't realize it. I didn't have the remote or foot switch hooked up, and if you don't, and this is not off, it stays on all the time, and that's why I always had this little bit of grittiness, even though I was trying to get some clean tones out of it, and I didn't realize it until I started editing what happened. I saw on the video that the gain channel was on and the foot switch wasn't connected, and I was like, oh, no wonder it's so distorted or has a distorted tone to it. So that was my bad on that video. Okay, so now we're going to get some clean tones. I'm going to turn that back on because I have the foot switch on. Alright, now I'm just going to, we'll go back to the clean channels. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm not going to go back to the switching things on and off. I'm going to set it as if when I'm playing it. Okay, so I didn't show a very good shot of this the last time, but this is the bright switch. So here's the up position. I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, I would say that's probably neutral, not bright, and then this is less bright. Okay, there we go. There's a better shot of it. All right. Okay. All right, so let's get back here so we can get a little bit wider shot of the amp. Get more of it in. And I'll describe what I'm doing, so if you can't really see all the other stuff, you got videos, you know, the other videos show you a close-up of everything. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do a little bit of clean here. Alright, there we go. And I'm not the world's greatest guitarist, so don't expect me to fly up and down the fretboard and amaze you with my skills. Okay, I'm just a hobbyist that has played for quite a few years, about 50 years. And there's times where I've never taken it really seriously. I might not have picked up a guitar in a year or more. So, here we go. So I just like to use these simple chords to give you an idea of what the tone is. Okay? So we'll set everything at noon. We won't worry about the drive channel presence at noon. Okay? So here we go. Okay, we'll do a couple bar chords. Okay, that's at the 5th fret. Now we'll go up to the 10th fret. Alright, so there's so you have some kind of tones on what that is. And I'm on the bridge pickup, and I've got the tone on 10 and the volume on 10. I usually don't do that with this Les Paul. I usually have it rolled back slightly. But for recording purposes, I find that it's best to keep everything on 10, unless it's driving it too hard. So now I'm going to go to the center pickup, and I'm going to roll back the neck pickup a little bit and roll back the bridge pickup a little bit. So here's the center. So both pickups. Okay, and now the neck. And the 10th fret. Alright, so now I'll give you one kind of jazzy chord so you can get an idea on the neck pickup. Alright, so there's an idea of what it can do clean wise. I am not going to go through all the options that you can do on this amplifier. They are a lot of options. Okay, so I'm going to pull out the depth switch. I don't know how good the last time did it, so it just says deep on it. I assume it means depth, but let's listen to what that means. Okay, so I'll just we'll do a bar chord at the 5th fret. Okay, now I'm going to turn it off for an example. Turn it back on. Okay, there you go. Hopefully that's better. Alright, so now we're going to turn the mids on so you get an idea what that sounds like. Turn it off. Alright, now we'll give it a little boost. Turn the boost off. Alright, so there's that. Okay, so I showed you the back side of the amp where I've had the switches on, and I had that on the humbucker setting, and the smooth switch is turned off. Okay, so now I'm going to set this up as if I'm going to play this, do some recording. Okay, so normally my preference is turn the bright switch to the lower position, so it's not quite so bright. I really like to turn the tone stack off. Now that will turn the volume way up on this. So let's see on the meters that it went way up. So I'll turn it back on. So now the bass is on and the tone stack's back on. Now I'll turn it off. Okay. So now it should be way louder. Okay, so I'm going to turn, here's the presence on. Now I'm going to turn the presence off. way up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the volume down. Like I said, this amp is really loud when I'm playing it through the speaker cab that you saw in the last video. It's unbelievably how loud this amp gets. Okay, so that isn't, the meter's turned down. Okay, so there's that. That's how I like it. I prefer that sound there. Since the tone stack's off, I don't have to worry about anything there. And, you know, and fret, 10th fret. All right, so there's some sound examples there. Now we're going to go to the drive channel. So this is where things get interesting here. I'm going to turn back on the tone stack. I'm going to leave the presence off. I prefer this amp without the presence on. I'm going to turn the level down for now because I'm not exactly sure where it's going to go. I'm going to turn this down so we don't get some wild peaks, and here we go. Okay, so we're going to turn the drive on. The drive is on. Alright, so I'm going to have to turn the level up a little bit. Okay, so here we go on the drive channel. We can go from, I'll turn it way down to the gain and the drive. So, you know, you can use it kind of as a clean or edge of breakup kind of tone. Okay, now this is your first gain stage as far as I understand from what the manual says. So this is like the first gain stage. So we'll turn that up to 5. Okay. Okay, so now we got some more gain. The drive is turned down. We'll crank it all the way to 10. Okay. Okay, so now we'll bring that back to 2. We're on 2 on the drive. Okay. So now we'll go to 10 on the drive. Or excuse me, 5. Now we'll go to 10 on the drive. Oops, my bad, I hit the level. Oops, sorry about that. Now we'll go to 10 on the drive. Tremendously loud. Especially when you start combining the volume and the master. You can crank this all the way up, and the master, you'll barely have it off of 0. And it will just be like, man, turn this thing down. Or you can go vice versa. You can turn the volume way up, or way down, and turn your master way up. And combinations, that's what I want. Another reason why I wanted to get this particular amplifier is all the different combinations you have for tone settings. Because sometimes you can't always dial it in the way you want it. But when you have options, to a certain extent, then you can kind of sculpt and move things around and do whatever. Okay, so let's get back to this. Alright, so we're going to start out at 4 and 4. Okay? Alright, so now I'm going to hit the boost so you get an idea what the boost does for you. The boost, in my opinion, is more like a saturation sound. So the next thing I want to do is we're going to bypass the tone stack. So I'm going to have to turn my level down because once again this gets really loud when you bypass the tone stack. Okay, so I need to turn the level up a little bit. Just a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm going to hit the boost with the tone stack. And this is the bridge pickup with everything on 10 on the guitar. Alright, turn the boost off. And this amp is more, in my opinion, more of a vintage sound in the drive channels and stuff. I like to run a little bit of boost pedal, and we'll go through that on another video. What the boost pedals can do for this. Okay, so now we'll just keep turning it up. I'll turn up the gain. Turn up the drive. Gain. Drive. Some people call hairy or a little wild sounding. Okay, so now let's just try this. A little bit of playing. Try a little bit of lead. I'm not the greatest lead guitarist, but we'll do a little bit. Alright, so that's where I'm at with this amplifier as of now. I will do a one with the Sir, so you can get some single coil next. Alright, thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned because there's more videos coming, and I'll do some more playing, and see you next time.